crestins.com. Now let's talk Arizona State football with Coach Charlie Ragle.
Charlie Ragle now joins us here on the Wright Toyota guest line. So, Charlie, if you got about $20 million in NIL, does that give you a national championship? Is that how it works now? It's all about buying players. Is that kind of how it works?
I guess it's the old adage, you get what you pay for, huh?
That's great.
I told the boys the other day, I said when they break when the bracket comes out, next to your seed, they should also have in parentheses the dollar amount spent on your roster.
Yeah.
Because, some guys are paying $20 million and some guys are paying, a fraction of that. And that's, again, I think Coach Saban said it best early in the year. It's not about how much you spend. It's on, the quality of players that you get. But kudos to Coach Day and Ohio State. Those guys made a masterful run, had to go all the way through from the very beginning of the bracket, and they did an outstanding job on Monday night.
I saw in the Wall Street Journal today. Yeah, I read the Wall Street Journal.
Wow, Rock, you're reading.
Just look at the pictures like you guys do. According to this professor from Indiana, they said that if Ohio State was on the open market and was for sale, it would go for $1.96 billion. Wow. Texas $1.9 billion, then Michigan $1.6, and then they also listed Georgia, Notre Dame, LSU, Penn State, Tennessee, and Texas A&M, all topping the $1 billion mark. Would you ever thought something like this would happen, Coach, when you were coaching there in Scottsdale, Chaparral, and you're aspiring to be a coach at the college level, that it was going to get to this point?
I mean, you saying that makes my head spin. Like, it's just, those numbers are astronomical. And I mean, it's just, I think we because of the saturation of social media and just everything, right? Like, those numbers don't even seem real, right? But, I've done some digging myself and some reading, as of late, the last probably month and a half. And I also do not just look at pictures. There's a lot of these private equity groups that are behind the scenes having conversations with these commissioners and presidents of universities about, coming in and potentially, maybe buying a percentage and funding these, if it was to potentially go to a new type of league or system where on basically the private market where these investors would come in and invest in these programs. And obviously, they're doing it to turn a profit. So, I mean, this is where it's going. I think that we're on a full scale march in that direction. There's no question about it.
And I can imagine, Charlie, on the other side, there's a lot of players out there, whether they give you a discount or aren't looking for that much, because they want the exposure of ASU. You guys are on the map. They want to come play there. They like Tempe. They know that it's a great program. They may not be that 5-star guy, but if you got a lot of 3 or 4 stars that want to be there and they give you a discount or just say, look, pay me what you have, I got to imagine you're seeing that as well too.
Well, and I was just, we've been recruiting today, and I was with Kenny, very early this morning. He flew in from Houston, and we hit the ground here in Phoenix running early, and we had some good conversations. We had a lot of drive time on our hands to get to a couple different places, but he and I were talking about just that. One, just everywhere you go, the sheer excitement of people in the building that ASU, and I'm not just talking locally, I'm talking all across the country, people genuinely excited about us being in the building. And here locally, and I've been out of some other places in New Mexico and Texas, the same thing. And I just think, obviously, we all know what winning does for your program, but I think it's also, again, hometown discounts, not necessarily, but finding the right guys and paying the right price and hitting on the right guys. I think you can't put a premium on that. Is the right guys, in the right situation, obviously can get you something that we got this year.
Charlie Ragle is our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. Charlie, the SEC and the Big Ten athletic directors are going to have a conference coming up next week. So apparently now the SEC wants to try to work something where they are guaranteed 4 teams in the 12-team playoff. As being in the Big 12, is it a thought process by anybody like your coaches or the AD at all that they are going to try to continue to try to eliminate everybody else?
I can't speak for those guys, right? For Graham or
2 more minutes.
Somebody else, but I can tell you, just generally speaking, this thing is it's mind numbing, right? And at the end of the day, everybody's trying to they want the guarantee to turn a profit. 4 teams, it's exposure for their league. It's a payday for their league. I mean, if I'm in their position, I'm probably trying to do the same thing. And I think this is where, it gets to why we need a commissioner for college football, in my opinion. If we're playing this playoff that is comprised of multiple conferences, somebody has to be in the middle of that to decipher what is going to be allowed and what's not. And right now we're just not. It's not apples to apples in any phase. You got teams playing 8 conference games.
Yep.
Other conference team, other leagues playing 9 conference games. So it's just, there's just so much discrepancy between leagues and rules, but yet we all want to come together and have a playoff. And I just think that there's, as this process gets worked out, we've got to get some more uniformity in this thing in order for it to continue to perform at a high level.
So, Charlie, as this process gets worked out, you look back on last year, and you go forward. What's going to be the mantra for 2025 leading into spring, all things considered?
Yeah, well, I think that the mantra is that, hey, you know what? Our guys, they created the mantra by doing what they did and coming back, right? Like in a time where these guys could have left, we had 2 guys, obviously the seniors aside, but 2 guys off of our 2 deep that left. Out of 44 guys, take away the handful of seniors that we had, we only had 2 guys that were in backup roles that wanted to go play somewhere else and have a potential to start that left. So I think that speaks volumes about our program and about our kids. And I think plain and simple, it's really about, hey, let's run it back. That's the mindset and that's the mentality. Now, we're not expecting to come back and do the very same things and expect the same results.
Clear to wrap whenever.
In the driver's seat, the hunted versus the hunter. But that is the mentality of these kids. It's a unique group, and they want to come back together and take another crack at this thing. And they really believe that we can have a similar success.
Charlie, we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the time. Let's, Manuch wants to get his wallet out and buy us all lunch or dinner.
Right.
So whenever you're ready, he's got all those quarterbacks. Brock Purdy's about to get paid.
Manuch got them big dollar bills coming. At least we're going to do it, boys. I appreciate you. Go Devils.
You got it, Charlie Ragle. Yep, Manuch is going to make it rain here,
Yep,
too.
he is.
So looking forward to that.
I'll be dancing.
Yes, we will. I don't know if you want to see that. Thanks to Crest Insurance Group all season long for sponsoring Charlie Ragle. Crest Insurance Group offers personal, business, specialty insurance solutions for clients across all markets. Check them out. Just go to crestins.com. We'll look back on this day. We got Football 50, but it is a listener appreciation ticket giveaway Thursday, and we got Globetrotter tickets, lower level at Desert Diamond Arena in Glendale. We are going to give you a chance to win a pair next. It's Rocky Manuch with Jimmy B right here from Twin Peaks, Tempe.